Hey, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Makafadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopefully elect. Shalom. Yahweh, being in the name of God, who the world ignorantly calls God. Bahasham, in the name Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Again, it's not God, it's not Jesus Christ. It's Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai. Those are the true names of the Heavenly Father and their Son, and those are the names you are going to need to call on in these times to come and save you. Ain't no other name given among men whereby we must be saved. The only two names that's going to save you is Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, and they coming back to redeem the 1/3 of the elect, which you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native, and Seminole Indians. And 2/3 are slated for sore destruction. This your brother Shathak Shah coming back with another quick lesson. Basically going into, endurance and patience. You see, I'm gonna jump straight into it and I hope it be edifying. Patience and endurance is what we need inside this truth. To have patience is the key, to endure everything that we go through. We need to take hold of that, because we're going to go through fire, through this trial, but we must endure it. We're going to go through sufferings, pains, and afflictions, but we must go through it, patiently endure. Endure goes into suffering. Patience goes into endurance. And that's what we got to have inside this truth. It says, this is James 1:12. It says, blessed is the man that endureth temptation. And temptation goes into testing, trials, and we got to endure it. Let's click this word, endure.
Strong's G 5278. Hupamano. Hupamano.
Hupamano. To remain. You see, and that's what we got to do. Remain inside this truth. Last. Abide. You see, it says to preserve under misfortunes and trials, to hold fast to one's faith in Hamashiach. So we got to hold fast, hold on strong to one's faith, to our faith under this misfortune, because we're going to go through adversity. We're going to go through tribulation. We're going to go through testings. You see, because it's word misfortune. No, that ain't what we looking for. But it goes into adversity. Because when you go into adversity, it goes into misfortune. You see, let's look at the Strong's. It says remain, to undergo, to bear. You see, endure, suffering. And that's the whole point. We got to endure. And endure goes into suffering and patient. Like patiently, patiently suffering. You see, let's click. Let's look at it in Google too as well. It says to last, continue in a state without perishing, bear, or suffering something without yielding, or remain steadfast. And that's what we got to do to last. Or suffer through something difficult with strength and patience. You see, the trying of your faith worketh patience. You see, it says, blessed is a man that endureth temptation. Temptation goes into testing, trials. We're going to click that one too as well. Let's click temptation.
Strong's G 3986. Pyrasmas. Pyrasmas.
Pyrasmas. And it says an experiment, attempt, trial, proving, right? Trial, proving. And we proving our faith, proving ourselves that we are worthy, proving ourselves to Yahweh Bashar Shah, the trial made of you, you know. Let's jump down into the last one at IV. It says, adversity, affliction, trouble, sent by the Most High, and serving to test or prove one's character, faith, and holiness. And that's the whole point. You see, we proving our character, proving our faith. You see, we showing ourselves worthy, you know. But we got to endure all the stuff that we go through, affliction. Something that causes pain and suffering, you know. Trouble. Difficulty or problems. You see, problems. You see, difficulty, and that's what we're going to go through in this truth. We're going to have a lot of difficulties. You're going to have a lot of problems on this side too as well. Whatever you're going through in your daily lives, you see, adversity, difficulty, misfortune, you see. So we're going to get afflicted on this side. So let's go back. It says, James 1:12, blessed is a man that endureth temptation. So favor, you know, when you go into this word blessed, be unto the man that endureth testing, that endureth the trials, this fiery trial that we're going through. It says, from when he is tried, you know, and we are being tried, our faith being tried, you see, to see if we're going to still continue to stand rooted and grounded in Yahweh Bashar Shah as we endure this temptation, as we endure these sufferings and pains and afflictions. It says, he shall receive the crown of life, and that's the whole point, to receiving that crown of life, man. You know, it says, which the Lord have promised to them that loved him, you know, and we have, you know, this is a, you know, spiritual, you know, test as well, you see. And also we're going to have a physical test too, through that C-hip, you see, being tried and then the concentration camps, Salakia. You know, brothers might get caught up into that too as well, you see. Well, let's jump up here to 3, I think. Yeah. This is James 1:2. It says, my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptation. You know, think of it as an opportunity of great joy. You see, because you have a great reward awaiting if you continue to endure all the things that you're going through. It says in the NLT, it said, dear brothers and sisters, when trouble comes your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. And that's how you got to look at it. The sufferings, the testings, the fiery trial, man. You know, because, hey, it shows that you are accepted by Yahweh Bashar Shah. You know, and you are a child of Yahweh Bashar Shah. You're not fatherless. The Most High is dealing with you as with sons, and it's showing that He love you, just like a mother or a father say, "I whoop you because I love you." And we go through the things that we go through because Yahweh Shemashah love us, and He accept us as His child. That's how we really got to think of it. You see, and also being like, our forefather Job, man. Job is a great example on how to be when adversity and affliction hit you, when you are brought to a low estate, because Job went through it all. And Job showed great endurance. He kept his integrity. He had once said in Job 13:15, "Though he slay me, yet will I trust in him." That's how we gotta be. Though we might get killed, we're gonna continue to trust in Yahweh Shemashah, to put our faith in Yahweh Shemashah, to put our confidence, to rely on Yahweh Shemashah, because Yahweh Shemashah have never forsaken one that ever believed in Him or even spoken in His name. You see, I'm gonna get that too as well. It says, verse 3, it says, "Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience." And you gotta have patience as a chance to grow. Grow your character. You see, it says, "For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow." You see, and to have patience is the key. To endure is the key as well. And that's what we gotta have inside this truth. Let's click this word, patience. The capacity to accept or tolerate delay, troubles, or suffering without getting angry or upset. And that's the whole point. Forbearance. You see, we gotta persevere. We gotta persevere when we are being tested. When we are being tried, and when we're going through this fiery trial, we gotta persevere. We gotta bear. We gotta lash, man, giving great joy, like it said in verse 2. Consider it an opportunity for great joy. At the end. At the end. Let's get 5. This is James 5:10. It says, "Take my brethren the prophets who have spoken in the name of the Lord for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience." And one to think about is Job, because he's spoken in the name of Yahweh Shemashah, and he is a great example on how to keep pushing when adversity and suffering hit you, when you are brought to a low estate. It says, for an examples of patience and suffering. Dear brothers and sisters, look at the prophets who have spoken in the name of the Lord. And this is what you're going to go through. Prepare your soul for temptation when you come to serve Yahweh Shemashah. Verse 11, it says, "Behold, we count them happy which endure." And it's great happiness, great honor to those who endure under suffering. It says, "Ye have heard the patience of Job," and we have, "and have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord was very pitiful and tender of mercies." When you read Job 42, starting at 10, you will see that Yahweh Shemashah, he gave Job back everything that he lost, 10 times more than what he had. Because he still kept referencing Yahweh Shemashah, even though he was going through the things he was going through. Job had boils on his body. Job lost all his cattle, his land. Job lost his children. You see, but he still kept that reference and deep respect for one he cared about, and that's Yahweh Shemashah, man. You see? Did nobody want to deal with Job at the time? But he still kept his faith and belief in Yahweh Shemashah. He still kept his integrity. And that's how we gotta be. And Job represents the elect. We gotta be like Job inside this ministry. Though we might go through small, troubles, something slight, something small. But at the same time, the things that we go through in our daily lives, we got to keep pushing. No matter what. Holding on to this truth. Sticking close to this truth, because this is the only way that's going to bring us home. This is our meal ticket to the kingdom. We can't let certain situations in our daily lives stop us from being inside this truth. Take on to the challenge and fight it with that good fight. Holding on strong to Yahweh Shemashah hand. You know what I'm saying? Even though we might go through these small troubles and afflictions, that should pull us more closer to Yahweh Shemashah more than ever. Because, hey, Yahweh Shemashah love that, man. And we fighting for something very great. And that's what we need to chase. I have watched a beautiful video from the brother Amawan Gabar from the main camp up there in New York. And he had a dream. One of the brothers that had passed away, kingdom grass, you know what I'm saying? And all the things that we going through now, we gonna be just like that brother, man. Abarat Azah. We be part of that number, because I know the brother having a good time up there in the kingdom, man. We Yahweh Shemashah, man. But we can't let our daily lives, take us away from this truth. No taking breaks, you know what I'm saying? No stop believing in Yahweh Shemashah. Continue to believe when times get hard. When you having that woe is me spirit or whatever the case, continue to keep that reference and respect in Yahweh Shemashah. Continue to call on his name. Continue to pray. Sticking closer to Yahweh Shemashah, because that's the only way. We got to endure everything that we go through. So with that, I hope this lesson was edifying to the election of Israel. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Akavadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopefully elect. Till the next time I say,